Welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz. Today I will be showing you how to make a crochet reindeer hat. This hat is perfect for the holidays. I recommend this tutorial for advanced beginners. For this tutorial, you should know how to slip knot, chain, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble, and increase. For most of the yarn, I use Red Heart Super Saver in the colors Cafe, Coffee, White, Black, Red, and the cream is Big Twist brand. I use a 5mm hook, a needle, scissors, and Polyfil. Now let's get started on the base of the hat. With the Cafe color, make a magic ring, or you can also start with a chain 4 and slip stitch into that first chain to make a ring. We are going to chain 2, and this does not count as a double crochet. And then we will be placing a total of 10 double crochets into the ring. So we chain 2, here goes our first double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go ahead and pull the small string from the end to close up the circle and slip stitch at the top of the chain 2 space that we started with. And round 1 is complete. We're ready for round 2. We are in round 2. Go ahead and chain 2 once again throughout this whole project. The chain 2 does not count as a double crochet. Place 2 double crochets in that same stitch. There goes 1 and 2. Continue to make double crochet increases in each stitch around. So by the end of this round, you will have a total of 20 double crochets. Continue to make your increases, and I'll meet you in the beginning of round 3. For round 3, chain 2, place 1 double crochet in that same stitch, and in the next, make a double crochet increase. And we will be continuing to repeat that. 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and an increase in the next. At the end of this row, you are going to have 30 double crochets. So this is what it would look like: 1 double crochet increase, double crochet increase, and so on. I'll meet you in the beginning of round 4. We are ready to start round 4. Start with your chain 2, place 1 double crochet in that same stitch, and 1 double crochet in the next. Next, make an increase in the next stitch. And now we are going to continue to repeat 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches and an increase in the next. At the end of this row, you'll have 40 double crochets. So continue to repeat 1 double crochet in the next 2, an increase all around until you reach the end. I'll meet you when we're done. For the next round, start with your chain 2, place 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Make an increase in the next stitch, and we will continue to repeat that. 1 double crochet in the next 3. There's 1, 2, 3. Now an increase. Repeat this all around. At the end, you will have 50 double crochets. So you're repeating this. 1 double crochet in the 3, and then an increase all around. We are on the 6th round. Start with your chain 2, 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, an increase in the next stitch, and we are going to continue to repeat that. 1 double crochet in the next 4. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and lastly an increase in the next. Continue to repeat this all around, and at the end you will have 60 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, and an increase. I'll see you at the end of this round. We're starting round 7 now. Chain 2, place 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the next stitch, make an increase, and we will continue to repeat that all around. 1 double crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase. 1 and 2. So this is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets and an increase all around. This is going to be our last increase row for the top of the head. We have finished the increasing rows, so this is going to fit a 22-inch head circumference. When I measure it across, it's almost 7 inches. It's about a little bit more than 6.5. This fits my head. If you want to make it bigger, you would do 6 double crochets and an increase all around and repeat it. If you need it even bigger, go ahead and increase again, 7 double crochets and then an increase. Once you have figured out the size for the top of your head, all we have to do now is add the length. So place 1 double crochet in each stitch for as many rows as you need. I did a total of 8 more rows. I finished my 8 additional rows for my length, and when I measure it, it is almost 7 inches. When I try this on, my hat lies nicely on my eyebrows. You may need more or less. We all have different head sizes. Now we're going to start on the brim. We are going to be working in the front loops only for this row. So the front loops are these lines. You see how they have 2 loops? We usually work through both. We're only going to be working through the ones on this side that's closer to us. That is the front loop. So start off with your chain 2 per usual and into that front loop. Into the front loop, we're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, just like that. And then make an increase in the next. Make sure you're only working through the front loop. We are going to continue to repeat that. 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then an increase. Make sure we're only working once again in the front loop. So when you flip it over, you see this nice straight ridge. And we usually don't see that because we're always working through both loops, but just this one is a front loop. For the last 2 rows, they're going to be identical, and we will be working in both loops. And we will be doing the same thing. 1 double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then an increase. 1 double crochet in the first 2 stitches and an increase. It's like the previous one, except we're going through both loops this time. We finished the brim. This is what our hat looks like now. We are now going to get started on the eyes. With your white yarn, make a magic ring or make a ring with chains. And we are going to chain 2. And then place 10 half double crochets inside the ring. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With our 10, pull the small yarn to bring it together. And slip stitch at the top of the half double crochet that we started with. Now we will start round 2 of the eye. Chain 2 and place 1 half double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So the first one goes in that same stitch where we chained 2. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the next stitch, make a double crochet increase. 1 and 2. Do the same thing in the next stitch, a double crochet increase. 1 and 2. In the next stitch, make a treble increase. There's 1 and 2. In the next stitch, make a double crochet increase. There's 1 and 2. In the last stitch, make a half double crochet increase. 1 and 2. Go ahead and slip stitch in the first half double crochet that we started with. And we have finished one part of the eye. Go ahead and repeat this so that you can have 2. Make sure to leave a long tail so that we can sew it on later. For the eyes and the nose, it is the same pattern. I will be demonstrating it in red yarn because it's easier to see. So this will be the red nose, but also when you do the eyes, just make sure you do the same thing in black. Start with your magic ring or your chain 4 that you slip stitch to make a ring. And then chain 2 and place 10 half double crochets into the ring. And that is completely it. Make sure you slip stitch once you get to the end. So this is going to be for the nose. And once again, you're going to do this again 2 more times in the color black for the eyeballs. I'm fast forwarding here a bit just so you get the idea of how it's done. Make sure you leave a long tail when you're done so that you can sew this on to the nose and also to the eyes. All of our circles are complete, and now we're going to start sewing on the eyes to the white part. I am aligning the black eye on top of the white one. You can see that the tails are aligned right on top of each other. And from here, I'm just going to sew it on as close as to the edge from the bottom part, making sure I leave part of the white showing. This is how I'm sewing it. Feel free to position your eyes however you prefer. So I'm just going through both sides, attaching it. I'll be doing the same thing for the other eye. I'll meet you once we're ready to start on the snout. For the snout, grab your cream color and start with a magic ring, a magic circle, whatever you call it. You can chain 4 and slip stitch to the first stitch if you prefer. Once you have that down, chain 3. This is going to count as a double crochet for the snout. So there's 1. We're going to do 7 more double crochets for a total of 8. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the snout is going to be made like half of a circle. So we're not joining these together. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, counts as a double crochet. Place 1 more double crochet in that same stitch. So this is a double crochet increase. We're going to continue to do double crochet increases in each of them except the last one. So we're just going to have 14 double crochets total instead of 16 like originally you probably would. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's our 14. I'm not doing 16 because I did originally and this was poking out in the corner and it doesn't look straight. I'm going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, flip my work, and into the next stitch, make an increase. And I'm going to repeat 1 double crochet in one stitch, and then an increase in the next, all the way down. But as I get to the last stitch, I'm just going to make 1 double crochet. So I'll show you what I mean. Almost there. So I have 2 more stitches. I just did an increase. That's going to be 1 double crochet. Ideally, make an increase here to continue the pattern, but I'm going to only make 1 double crochet in the last one to keep this as straight as possible. If I did an increase, it would look more slanted. If I had done it the other way, it would look more slanted like this. And I think this will lie better on my hat rather than this crooked one. We are starting with the ears, so ideally you'll make 2 of these at the end. Start off with a magic ring, and the whole ear will be worked in single crochets. So start off by making 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you have your 6, pull your yarn, and I will be using a bobby pin later on, so as my stitch marker in my next row. So now, instead of slip stitching here and starting the next row, I'm going to just make rounds. I'm going to make an increase in here. So this is my second round. 1, 2. Let me place my stitch marker where my first one goes. So now I'm going to make 1 stitch, and then an increase, and then 1 single crochet, and then an increase, 1 single crochet, and that I finished the round. So we finished the second round. For the third round, start with a single crochet. Let me place my stitch marker so I don't lose my spot. Now we're going to make another single crochet in the next, and an increase in the next. And we're going to repeat 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then an increase. Almost there. 1, 2. I'm working on my last increase, just like that. For row 4, we're going to start off by making 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then an increase. So that was 1, 2, 3, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, and lastly an increase. At the end of this row, you should have 15 single crochets. We're going to start on round 5 now. Round 5, we're just placing 1 single crochet in each stitch, so we will have 15 single crochets again. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. For round 6, we're going to make 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then an increase. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, and lastly, my increase. At the end of this round, we have 18 single crochets. Now for the next row, rows 7, 8, and 9, we're just making 1 single crochet in each stitch to add some more length. I'm going to do that off screen, and then I'll come back to you once we're ready to do round 10. I have finished the 3 extra rows. We're going to work on the last row. It's going to be a decreasing row. So we will be placing 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we will be placing a decrease and then repeating. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, you decrease. I like to do my decrease in the 1 loop only, the front loop. There goes my decrease, repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now a decrease. My hook keeps hitting my camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lastly, 1 decrease. At the end of this row, you will have 15 single crochets. I just make a slip stitch in the next stitch to finish it off. Make 1 more and leave a tail so that we could sew it onto the hat later. And then we'll move on to the antlers. I'm starting the antlers. I'm using the dark brown, and I have already made a magic ring. So the antlers will be made up of single crochet. Instead of doing my single crochets the yarn over method I always do, I'll be doing the single crochets with the yarn under method. This method is used to make the stitches appear tightly together. I want them tighter because I will be adding polyfill to them, and I want to prevent any holes and gaps between the stitches. I am placing 9 single crochets into the ring. I will meet up with you once we have finished the first round. For rounds 2 to 13, all you will be doing is placing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I do use a bobby pin as a stitch marker. It helps me know when I have finished a round. Go ahead and finish your 13 rounds, and I'll meet you up once we're done. This is what 13 rows looks like. We haven't filled it yet, but we will be filling it with polyfill shortly. Before, we need to make a short little antler. We started with the 9 single crochets as well, and it has a total of 5 rows. So it's just 9 single crochets in each for 5 rows. So we're going to fill this, and we will be sewing this little antler on the side. And we're gonna do this 2 times for a total of 2 antlers. I'm using polyfill to fill in both of the antlers, the longer piece and the shorter piece, and then we can sew them together. I have attached my needle to the smaller side of the antler, and I have placed it about on the 4th row from the longer antler. And then I just sew it into place, going through both loops from one side of the antler to the other. Go ahead and do that, and then we can sew the complete antler on the actual hat. So the little part that we attached, it goes outwards. I mean, you could do it however you like, but this is how I'm doing it. Each antler will be crocheted right after the first row. So this is the circle we started with. It's going to go right after it. One goes here, and the other one will be symmetrical to the other side. Now we're going to do the ears. I'm gonna want to place them in the 5th row, coming aligned from the antler. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like the middle to me. I'm just going to sew it down. So with this, we are just bringing this, we're eyeballing it from the center point all the way down, and we are going to sew it on. Make sure that the lowest part is on the base. I'm not doing it on the brim, I'm just doing it right here. This is what the snout looks like. I do need to weave in some of my ends. I'll do that in a bit. But now we can attach the nose. So the nose is going to go in the middle, and I like it to be half on the snout and half on the reindeer. I'm just gonna place it and sew it all around. We are done with the nose. Now we have to do the eyes. So I want to do mine a little bit diagonal. This is straight up, this is diagonal. I want it pretty close to the nose and pretty close to the snout. I want a little bit of brown to show, but not much. So wherever that is the closest, I'll meet you once we're done with both of the eyes, and then we'll be done with our reindeers. We have finished our reindeer hat. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If so, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see your creations. Please tag me on Instagram and TikTok. Happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next video.